So I was watching Werps's item rating guide recently, and he had said that the mini cart was mid. And that resonated something with me because the pocket cart is the best item in the game by far. And I'll show you why. So I know a lot of tech with the pocket cart. I don't know if I discovered some of it, but I do know a lot of it, and most of it I did find myself. And the first one that I want to show is what you could do against the huntsman. So we all miss the rotate days of the huntsman where we could kill it at 0 strength. And this is actually a pretty similar tech that you can do with it. You can kill him with no strength, base stats, with the pocket cart. The only thing you need is a pit. So I'll show here that I am not immortal, I'll be shot. So here is the tech. You literally just push up against him and you can push him. You will not take any damage. It'll block the card every time and you just boom. You can also, of course, block the shot. It's a good way to keep him still while you're trying to position him. And of course, okay, wow, you just push him. You just keep on pushing him into pitch, and he is a free kill with the pocket cart. Just like that, you just push him back in, get that free orb, get that free money. And also I'm on Supermoon, so to show that it's, even at the highest difficulty, you can still just push them. Well, of course, at this difficulty, you probably have some strength and just can lift them more weapons. The only thing to be wary of with this tech is that if you're too close to him, you can be shot. So I'll just demonstrate that a bit here. So if you push him against the wall and you get too close here, you can be shot through the cart. So don't get too close. A good way to balance that out is after you have pushed him a bit, you can wait a second. I'll show you here. So even at the corners, it's fine. So you can push him, stop for a second, and then you don't have to get too close to the cart. But it is a shield. You can even just sit here and just keep them occupied. If your teammates are dealing with them and they don't actually want to do that, you can just sit here, do nothing. But the pocket cart is the ultimate weapon. Another enemy this works absolutely perfectly against is the clown. You easily you position him however you want, honestly. Spawn in the pocket cart while I'm getting it. Anywhere near a ledge, you jump over his thing, except you do it correctly. You jump over it, you run to the side, you pick out your cart, and you just push the dog. Preferably you do it right after an attack, so then he doesn't laser you while falling or kick you while you're pushing him, because he can do it very quickly. But the pocket cart, the mid item, it completely trivializes 2 enemies, and honestly even more. Another enemy it can kind of trivialize, though it is a little bit harder, is the trudge, which people know it can be, it can be a run ender because it can always one-shot you. But you can do the same thing. You hope that he's in a position like this. Just line yourself up, make sure you're in strong mode, and just push him. And hope that just put him. Oh no! And even then, if he doesn't even come back, you just wait right here. You wait till the thing comes out. Don't die to it, hopefully. Take out the card. Okay, you know what? Take it, you push him. Make sure he stays low. This is where a little little bit of strength would come in, maybe some range. But yeah, even with base upgrades, even though I have a bunch of health and jump, that doesn't help with this, but you know, it just, you can do this at no upgrades with just the pocket cart. Kill 3 enemies with this thing is like 16k, and you can kill 3 enemies pretty easily with some practice and timing. You know, you just wait for the right scenario, and it's just free kills. The other enemy this kind of works on is the bow tie, but it is a bit weird because of so you can push him, and it actually completely negates his attack for some reason. He is doing the sound, but he's not doing the attack, but then he starts to end up doing it later. Obviously, if you're near pits against the bow tie, it is a bit scary, so that's why I would just say just smack him with a bat or a sledgehammer, or shoot him in the head. But if you wanna feel a little spicy, you can easily try it. Maybe find out a more consistent way to make him not do his attack, because it is weird that you can essentially start his attack, but he just won't do anything. This might be a better use here. That he was blowing that entire time, and then you can still push him, but that's when I put him into a good area. But you can't. The pocket cart, again, a mid item, can be used to completely kill almost 4 enemies for free, and potentially even a Reaper, but you do actually have to take tank damage to push it. And there's easier ways, like just jumping over a pit just to kill a Reaper with no damage. Now moving on to defensive tactics instead of offensive tactics, because the minicart has a lot of defensive tactics to use. First one is against an upscream, which just to show, I do not have good mode. I'm taking damage. Alright, leave me alone. Alright, now the tech here is that if you run into like a cabinet, look down, and then immediately pull out your card, you'll be placed inside of it. Now, even if the upscream were to see you, he'll scream at you, and you won't take any damage, because you don't collide with anything. And if you do collide with something, it's the minicart, which makes you take no damage. So that is a good thing to do, is that if you're ever in a tight scenario, just run into a small space and put the minicart under you and hide inside of it, because you can easily negate some damage with that. And you can even do the same thing against the Reaper, which this is a lot more useful, because the amount of times that I've seen people lose their stamina against the Reaper and they just get chipped away. There's not much you can do against it if you don't have any stamina. If you have a lot of HP, you can hide and just tank the damage under something. But one thing you do with the minicart, again, just put it between, and even just to show you, taking damage, and you just put it between you two, and you can regen stamina while waiting, and even just slow down a bit, because if you do stay still for long, she will just jump over it. But you can just slowly back up while regenerating some stam. Once you get enough stam, and of course, one of the easiest things to even think about is just being able to hide under it. It's just a portable, small state that you can do things out of. For instance, you can get a safe hit out while trying to find a position for enemies. So, you know, I'm just gonna, well, with all these enemies here, they just won't be able to see you. And then you can pull out your weapon and smack. This rogue will not see me at all. Smack, smack. While under a pocket cart, you know, it's a perfect hiding spot. If you have nothing else to hide under, it is perfect. You even share it with teammates, which, with things like the med kit, you can't do that. You can't really easily do it with other people. Try that. And even as a hiding spot, the head just completely goes away from you. You just turn a corner, break line of sight, put that on you. Even though I'm hiding under this direction. You get the gist, you know, I could be hiding under this thing. So the tech kind of works as well with the Apex Predator. So don't put it under you, just put it in front of you this time. Then it actually cannot get you. So you can block off the Apex Predator by holding it stronger. Preferably place it a little bit closer to you. There are better places, maybe like right here, place it, something like that, but it can also negate damage from the Apex Predator if you're a dummy and you accidentally click on it. Also to show I wasn't just a well, you try again. So this tech was shown very early into the game, so I didn't come up with this, but it is with the alien where you'll be lifted up, like, oh no, I'm gonna be taking some fall damage when he puts me down. But no, if you put down the cart and you land in it, you don't take any damage. I'll even show it again because I know in God mode could be fake news. Yes, man. The mini card kills alien. Not just killing, but it completely negates their damage. Which, again, wow, a mid item completely negating some effects of entire monsters or killing them. Wow, insanely mid item. It's so awful. You should never buy it. Another thing it can do is block hits from the robot. Maybe it grabs an item. Bad at everything you do, wow. But grab it, come on. I'm speechless. You wanna grab that orb maybe? Throw it up on me? Which actually that might be good. You are awful at everything you tried to do. You know what, screw this. Oh, okay, there you go. So you just hold it right in front of him. And it'll just bounce off. Things will just bounce off of you. You just hold it right in front of you. Yeah, this guy is awful. Now to some more miscellaneous text with it. This has been known for a long time, but you can take a weapon, put it under it, and just fly with it. Good to get to higher spaces that where maybe your teammates aren't there to lift you up, or you don't have enough jumps. You can even fall with it, like you can put yourself in the cart from a high place and just jump off of something and just slowly float down. Another, I wouldn't say a tech, but a way for dealing damage after you've knocked an enemy down. I haven't seen too many people do this, but you can deal a lot of damage very quickly with very little overcharge. I'm on, right now this save file is on Supermoon, and if I were to hit the road, some people would think, okay, you lift it up, you smack it down, but you're already overcharged and I'm dealing damage, I'm at 0 strength. And one thing that I've done, or seen, and this is even done at 0 strength, 0 range, is that you take it, you hit it, and you just flick really fast. And then let go. It barely fills up your overcharge because you only click the first second. But you can do that with anything that knocks stuff down. And you preferably, you don't want to use 2 sledgehammer charges on a rope, but even on Supermoon with 0 strength, I was able to kill it with just grabbing it, flicking over, letting go, and it barely moves an inch, but for some reason still takes damage. Again, this would work with the Headman. This works with essentially every single enemy. It works a little bit less efficiently with smaller enemies, but you have more strength to just bash them against things. But even against like the Headman, 2. Super quick, barely filled up even half of my overcharge meter on Supermoon, and I was able to kill it. So, Sledgehammer, honestly, probably easily the best melee weapon now. You can kill every single enemy in the game with one single charge, other than probably a Trudge, which, I mean, you got the pocket card for that for a free kill. Now I know there is also the cart bashing against something that has fallen down, but honestly I do feel like the clicking, flicking, and letting go is just much more damage and much quicker to do, but obviously, you know, if you want to, you can bash things with the mini cart. You can either do it from side to side or from top down, but both depend on the weight and strength or whatever you have, range. But of course, you know, honestly, the pocket cart's still good for dealing some damage just from bashing. Another thing about the pocket cart is, one thing I haven't seen a lot is people actually utilizing these doors here as weapons. These actually are pretty dang good to use offensively. And if you're not the host, you know, the host can literally just jump on these things and break them easily. If you're not the host, it sometimes just will not break, which the pocket cart is very good at breaking them. You know, you just line them up, and then you just slam them, and then it breaks them off really easily. Against small enemies, these doors are actually completely incredible. You just use your mouse wheel to hit them. Boom, I've done 50 damage there. And again, it's dead. You use 2 doors, and you got 3,000. And these can be done at, you know, any time really. I do have some upgrades here. I have 2 strength and 1 range, but it is a little harder to use at 0 strength, but you still can. You mostly just have to have it wide. You have to sprint forward while mouse wheeling forward, and you will hit it. It knocks down most of the very small enemies, so you can they take extra damage from physics, but people need to be using these doors more. They are very good weapons. They deal 30, these ones deal 30 damage, so I mean, I've killed mentalists with them just by getting a bunch of them and just chucking at them. You know, that's some free money if you have no weapons early game or something like that. If you're not the person stacking strength, you know, you get a bunch of these doors or something like that, and you just chuck them at them. Another way to break them easily is to, while these are closed, you just hit it from an angle with strong bow. With the corner of the cart, and it breaks them. A good way to just leave these around, you know, like hit Rugrats with them, hit the Shadow Child, hit a lot of the small enemies, and potentially even kill them with nothing used. Also, another little miscellaneous thing is this specific vase that you can fit perfectly inside the mini cart, and it is perfectly steady, because the amount of times I've seen this thing get damaged, you have to put it upside down. You gotta put it upside down in the cart. So hopefully you have enough strength to lift it up and actually be able to rotate it. You can get a friend, but once it is put inside upside down, no matter how much you fling it around, you know, you go ahead and sprint with it fast, you're completely fine. It will not fall out. This is the best way to move this vase, in my opinion. Of course, you're not always going to be just flinging it around. I'm sure you could find a way to make it fall out, but this is a good way that even if you're trying to turn around really fast, it is not going to fall out. The only way to make it fall out is to probably try to purposely, actively try to fling yourself as... I don't even think I can get it out, because it is... Yeah, it's just really hard to get this thing out of here. This thing is perfect for holding this stupid vase that people break all the dang time. Not me, I never break it, because I have the pocket cart. This thing is the best freaking item in the game. Fuck you, Warps. So again, with the flick tech, I guess you could call it, is... Warps did have a video where he was showing where you could jump on them and essentially Goomba stomp them, I guess. I don't honestly think it's a very good tech, because you can just do the flick. You know, you have the Reaper here. Even if you're not going to do put him in the pit, you just... Even then, I'm going to wait a second. 100, 150 damage at the moment. Even 50 damage. So I was able to do 200 damage on Supermoon without... That was kind of good. It was like that. I mean, it takes 2 shots, but it's honestly pretty good even on Supermoon, where Overcharge is kind of a detriment, especially if you have a lot of strength. And even right now I only have 2 strength, 1 range, and was able to consistently deal damage to it. I'm sure if you were perfect with it, you would be able to deal 250 damage in 1 strength shot to something. You know, it could be the Headman, Reaper, Bowtie, Robe, any of these monsters. Just 1 strength shot, doing the flick tech, and it's dead. You know, makes the trank gun even a better weapon. Also, I'm sure this has been shown before, is that you can also use the minicart to push the apex predator. You can bait out his jump and just push him, just go like that. If it is in a normal pit, you have to do something a little different. So I have the duck here, and you can potentially get him to fall in. Takes a bit, but everyone knows that he will fly up. This has been shown before, but you can just block him with the cart. It takes a little bit because you just have to wait here for a while, but after a certain amount of time, it'll just little guy will just give up and fall to his death. So it is another completely free kill. Of course, there are toilets, cauldrons that you can put the duck into for another free kill. So this isn't too much of a insane tech for the pocket cart, but you know, considering I'm gonna say this a bunch of times, considering it's a mid item that's, you know, 16k, this thing is usually around what, 15, 17k, 16k on average maybe, but considering that you can get this item for that amount, and you could get easily, if you go to level 20, you can easily get over 100k just in orbs from killing things with the cart. You can probably save about 40k worth of HP just by doing defensive tech with this thing. This is the best item in the game, just for money. You know, you buy it once and you save so much money. Sure, the sledgehammer, you know, you get money a lot quicker with it, but you have to recharge it, you have to actually buy it. This thing is a one-time buy, and you get, it's just profit after it. You don't have to recharge it at all or anything like that, and it saves you. It can gain you money, it can save you damage, and just as a general utility, it's just incredible. This thing is not a mid item, even close. It is, and I truly believe the pocket cart is the most broken item in the game. They honestly, if they need to change things to nerf this thing, because it is by far the best item in the game. Another small thing is that if you actually have this scenario here, which is very common, you can actually potentially get the cube into the minicart. I cannot though, because this sucks though. But if you keep on trying, I'm just gonna do this though. Keep on trying, and you know, maybe you get it this far, you don't actually have enough strength to be able to move it normally. You know, you're thinking, you know, you're like, oh, okay, I can't get it over. You don't want to rotate it over. Maybe some your other teammates don't have enough strength either. You can't just lift it. If you have a weapon in the minicart, you place it under it, and you lift it up. Hopefully you don't collide with anything. Lift it. You know, this is a bad showcase of it. Okay, there you go. You lift it, you very slowly bring it to the left. This game sucks, honestly, it's pretty awful, but I got it up, you get the point. If you get it high enough, you could even just bring the cart over up here, you take a strong mode, just fling it over, and it'll fall. You know, just a little thing you could do, even with other items. If you need to go vertically, you can lift them up with a weapon or something like that. Lift it over something if you don't have the strength for it. And you know, just as a general tip, if you are ever scared or anything like that, you just get into a corner and you put yourself in the cart. And honestly, this is the safest situation you can be in. It is incredibly comfy in here. Wow, such a good idea. Another thing you can do with the pocket cart is that, you know, some people like to push things into the extract. Sometimes you might need to be a little faster than that, and the pocket cart is actually perfect for that. You can move things extremely quickly with this thing. any kind, even these items. This heavy cube. You can just take it. It will deal some damage to it, but you can just push it. And you can move things extremely quickly, especially if you have everything lined up. You can just take out the cart and just push things super duper quickly into it. So that's another way to save some time, or just do things quickly, just in general, whenever you need that time. Another thing is that the pocket can actually be used as a delivery device for the duct tape grenades to try to hit more of them. Except right there, too far, but you get the gist. Most of them would fly around where pocket card is. Honestly, it might be easier to just use one grenade and put them to a hit. Yeah, you know, you can get a little crazy with it, you know, a little experimental. Honestly, I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is that most of this tech are things that I have found myself, a single person. Honestly, if more people realize the humongous potential of this item and start testing new things, this truly could become the most overpowered item in the game, to the point where it would need to be nerfed. I already think it kind of needs to be nerfed, but it already is the best item in the game, and it could even get better with more tech introduced to it. And this is probably the most obscure tech, is that you can actually put items in it, and they don't take damage in it. You know, it is extremely obscure. I don't think anybody ever does this, but you can actually put items inside of it. You know, you can hit them against each other, and wow, it's like, it's kind of like a small version of the big cart. Like, I don't know if there could be like a name for that, but you know, you put it in, and you have a bunch of items, and you can put them in the extract. You can even take them out, and then boom, it's a good way to, you know, put items, transfer items from A to B. It's not very well known. You know, it's extremely obscure, but another, you know, a big, massive W for the pocket card. This thing is amazing.